Welcome. So you're running a fundraiser, and you know merchandise is one of the best ways to get support. But that brings up a huge question. Do you create something completely unique, from scratch? Or do you grab something that's already made and just get it out there fast? That's exactly what we're going to dig into today. Okay, let's just jump right in. This is it, right? The fundamental question. It's like a fork in the road for your whole campaign. And the path you choose, it's going to have a massive impact on your budget, your schedule, and even how people feel about your cause. So let's explore both sides. To make the right call, we first have to get super clear on what we're actually choosing between. So let's start with some simple definitions for our two main options. First up, we've got custom merchandise. Now, I want you to think of this as like the bespoke suit of the fundraising world. You're not just finding a t-shirt and slapping a logo on it. No. You're designing the product from the ground up, picking the exact materials, the colors, the fit. You're creating something that is a true extension of your brand's DNA. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got pre-made products. This is your off-the-rack option. The stuff already exists, the standard mugs, hats, and tees. The whole process is way simpler. You pick a product, you add your logo, and, well, you're pretty much good to go. It's all about moving fast. So let's really walk down that first path for a minute. Going custom, it's a journey that can have a huge payoff, a really high reward, but it's also got its fair share of risks. And understanding that trade-off is absolutely everything. The reward? Well, it all comes down to connection. A unique, really thoughtfully designed item does so much more than just raise some cash. It makes your supporters feel like they're a real part of something special. It turns a simple buy into a statement, a real badge of honor. And that connection, it has a long memory. Get this. A study found that a whopping 85% of people who get a branded item will remember the organization behind it for years. That is a seriously powerful, lasting impression. And the reach is just incredible. Think about this. A single promotional t-shirt can generate something like 3,400 impressions over its lifetime. It's not just a shirt at that point. It's literally a walking billboard for your cause, spreading your message everywhere it goes. But here's the high-risk part of the deal. Creating something unique, well, it costs more upfront. You've got design fees, production costs, and it takes longer. Plus, there's always that classic nightmare of ordering too much and being left with a garage full of unsold boxes. Now, things like print on demand can help with that, but the risk is still there. And pricing is tricky. A 5 to 20% profit margin means you have to plan every single penny. And this timeline really paints the picture, doesn't it? From just getting the design approved to getting a sample made to the big production run and finally delivery. You're easily looking at 3 to 6 weeks. This is not something you can do last minute. It takes real planning. Now, if that custom route sounds a little intense with those long timelines and big upfront costs, don't worry. The pre-made path offers a much faster, much simpler alternative. The big wins here are all about efficiency. You can get a campaign up and running fast with way lower startup costs. These items are tangible. They're ready to go, which makes them perfect for a quick social media blast. And you know what? It's a really low-risk way to just test the waters and see what your audience actually likes. However, this path isn't a walk in the park either. It comes with its own set of challenges, especially depending on how you sell. Some of the old school methods, like kids going door to door selling candy, well, they can raise some real safety concerns. I mean, this quote from Samantha Kemp Jackson just hits the nail on the head. We tell kids not to talk to strangers, then we ask them to do just that. It's a weird spot to be in. And beyond safety, there are other issues. If you buy in bulk to get a better price, you could still end up with unsold stuff. And if every single group in town is selling the same kind of chocolate bars or popcorn, your supporters can get what we call fundraiser fatigue. And sometimes the focus shifts so much to just selling a product that people forget about the amazing mission you're actually trying to fund. Okay, so we've walked down both paths. We've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. Now for the most important part. How do you choose the right one for your group? Let's put them head to head. This chart just lays out the trade-off so clearly. Just take a look. On the custom side, you've got higher costs and longer timelines. But in return, you get a totally unique brand identity and way stronger engagement. Over on the pre-made side, it's the total opposite. It's faster, it's cheaper, but your branding is pretty limited. And the biggest takeaway here is that there's no single best answer. It's all about what's best for your goals, your budget, and your timeline. So think of this as your map for making that choice. You just need to ask yourself these 4 questions. 1, what's your main goal? Are you trying to build your brand for the long haul, or do you just need a quick injection of cash? 2, what's your budget really look like? 3, how fast do you need this to happen? And 4, and this is a big one, what will your supporters actually get excited about buying? Because, this choice isn't just about this one fundraiser. The decision you make right now is going to have a ripple effect. It'll have a lasting impact on your brand and how you connect with your community. I want you to think about it this way. Custom merch is an investment. It's an investment in your brand's story, its identity. It builds that deep loyalty over time. Pre-made products, they're more transactional. They get the job done, they fill an immediate need for funds, but they might not build that same deep, lasting connection. And you've got to remember why people actually buy this stuff in the first place. This is fascinating. So yeah, supporting the cause is a big reason for about 43% of people, but it's not even the main reason. Look at this. 58% say the merge actually makes them think more positively about the brand, and a massive 71% are driven by whether the product is actually useful. So the takeaway here is huge. The quality and the usefulness of what you're selling really, really matters. And that brings us to the final, most critical question you can ask yourself. When you're planning your next campaign, don't just think about what you're selling. Think about what that item represents. Is your merchandise just an item, or is it an ambassador for your cause? Because the right choice won't just fund your mission this month, it'll build your brand for years to come.